How often do you get outside with your kids? Because outside time is so important. Just even getting some vitamin D for a few minutes can really just change your day and change your mood and change your kids. And essentially, as a teacher, I know the value of going outside because I try to get my students outside almost every day. Even like for learning activities. So sometimes we'll go outside and we will just read, or sometimes we'll go outside and we'll do like an activity where we're learning, or we'll go out to the garden at the school and work in the garden, because that outside exercise and moving around is just so important for our learning, and not everybody understands that. And essentially, like, your mood can just completely shift by going outside. So I have this space in my yard, even though I live in the city, and my yard isn't super big. I've made this nature space outside in my yard just because I know the value of having a space in nature to just and bring yourself down. And so even my cat, you can see she's right here, she just loves to be in the yard and be outside all the time. And essentially she's an inside cat, and she doesn't even go out of the yard, even though we don't even have a gate. She just stays because she's scared of things, but she loves to be outside, and kids love to be outside. And so often, especially in schools, we're not getting them outside enough. And even some kids, if we do take them outside, they whine about it, but then once they're out there, they're like, oh. And there's so much learning that can go on outside. Like, you can do math, you can do shapes, you can do fractions outside. You can do things about science outside. You can even just go outside and read and have time to read, or do plays outside. There's so many learning opportunities to just go outside. And also, like, you can do math on the sidewalk. Who says you have to do math in a textbook or in a notebook all the time? You can do math anywhere. And essentially, I hope that people take some time in the summer to enjoy being outside. And then if you're a teacher, think about some ways that you can get your class outside, because I know that I'm going to be doing lots of videos throughout the winter on just what you can do to get your students outside, and activities and math and different ways that I teach outside, because I think it's so valuable. And I think it's something that we're missing is that value of outside, because it really impacts our mental health, and our mental health is so important. And when we recognize the connection between our mood and being stuck inside all day, it's just like flips completely. I know even one of my friends was saying, we live in a lake community, so we've been going to the lake a lot because it's so hot here right now. And they said, like, just jumping in the water flips my mood completely. Like, it's just like, I just feel this come over me. And he said, like, his mom, as kids, she would, because they grew up like at a cabin in the water, and if the kids were grumpy, his mom would just toss them in the water and then their mood would completely change. And I'm like, it's so true. It's so true how your mood, just like, if you're grumpy, sometimes just getting in water, it's like all of your anger just like rushes out of you. And for me, if I don't get out to the mountains, then I definitely make sure that I come and spend some time in nature outside in my yard, because it affects my energy and my aura. And we need to recognize that in kids too, is that nature just shifts our energy so much. And so I want teachers to be aware of that. I want parents to be aware of that. And I want kids to start to be aware of that, to say, like, hey, I need to get some outside time. Because when we truly get that enjoyment of outside, we are just affecting so many things on the inside that we don't even necessarily understand.